What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about what sells on the secondary market and how to figure out what to sell on the secondary market. Now, before we get into the thick of it, I just want to say that I am just a guy talking to a camera. I do not know everything. I'm not some guru or anything like that. I'm just sharing my thoughts, opinions, and ideas for you guys. So now let's get into the fun stuff. The first thing you should always be doing in the Pokemon world, the Pokemon sphere, is looking at the market. You know, what are people buying? What are people talking about? The way I know how popular or how high in demand something is, I usually go on Facebook. I have joined dozens of groups on Facebook, the Pokemon buy and sell groups, and it is very easy as soon as I log onto Facebook to see what is in demand because absolutely everyone is asking for it, or the prices are really high. It's just really easy to figure out, and that's how I get a gauge for it. And then I go onto eBay and I see how the prices have increased from 1 week to the next week or 1 month to the next month. That's what I kind of start off with and how I decide if something is worth, investing in or buying to resell. You know, if someone is selling something rather cheap, once you've noticed a slight increase in demand and a creeping towards an increase in price, you know, you're going to want to buy from that person quickly before the rest of the crowd follows. You've got to be really, really quick on your feet in the Pokemon community because there's a lot of people wanting to flip stuff, wanting to buy and sell stuff. And I don't think there's ever been this much demand and this much hype around Pokemon in terms of buying and selling and trying to make a profit. So now is really, really competitive, and you've got to always be on the lookout for stuff. You know, don't just watch YouTube videos. You have to go and find things out by yourself. You know, something I would always urge you to keep up with is Pokemon news and what new releases are coming out. You do not want to fall behind. If any of you have learned anything, is that you don't want to be behind when a new release comes out, such as Champion's Path. I know a lot of you watching this probably did not get the ETB, have struggled to find pin collections, have struggled to find any boxes of any sort. Now, while we're talking about Champion's Path, I'm not telling you to pre-order 20 ETBs to resell for, hundreds and hundreds of dollars of profit. I will never advocate for that. What I'm talking about is selling, cards from Champion's Path. So, for example, I pulled a Charizard VMAX not that long ago, and if I'd pulled that at the very, very start of Champion's Path release, only like 2 or 3 weeks ago from now, it was going for like $1,000 to $1,500. That is, 200 or 300% higher than what it goes for right now. If I'd pulled that Charizard, 3 weeks ago, I'd have sold it and waited 3 weeks to buy it back again and have some extra money. The hype around big chase cards at the very start, people have FOMO, fear of missing out. And, Charizard VMAX, just the regular one from Darkness Ablaze, is a perfect example. I was seeing people paying $500 to $800 for a Charizard VMAX, which is only worth, like, $80 to $100 right now. People are always wanting stuff first. So if you ever pull that card quickly, I would just get rid of it straight away to the highest bidder and then buy it back, in 2 or 3 weeks' time, and you get to keep some money alongside of that. So checking new releases is always something you need to be on top of. And a great example of that is around 4 months ago, I heard about a Charizard VMAX box coming to Japan. And if you guys don't know, I'm quite big on, buying Japanese stuff and selling it in the USA, whether that's singles, whether that's booster boxes, whether it's just Japanese sealed product. And I jumped on that straight away. I was buying Charizard VMAX boxes for $10 to $12 a pop in Japan in bulk, spending around $900 in total, including like shipping and taxes and everything, and sending them to the USA and then selling them here in the USA for anywhere between 30 and 45 US dollars, which is a huge profit margin. This was before Darkness Ablaze had announced that the Charizard VMAX was coming to the set, and I knew in my mind, a Charizard VMAX, whether that's an exclusive Japanese one or not, is going to sell really, really well here in the USA because everyone wants Charizard. It's like I said in my last 2 videos, it's the currency of Pokemon. So I was selling those boxes time and time again. I could not get enough of them in, but that doesn't last forever. Just because something is popular now doesn't mean in 3 months time it's going to be popular. You kind of have to look at your sales and see how they're doing. I could see my sales at the tail end starting to it was taking me a little bit longer than it should have to sell those Charizard VMAX boxes. What would have taken me probably a day and a half to sell, 10 boxes was ending up taking me, like a week or 2 weeks. And that's when you need to like kind of level off how much you're buying and how much you're willing to sell. And then, Darkness Ablaze announced they were printing the exact same Charizard, and that's when I like cut it off. Now, some things will just always be popular, but that is usually the high-end stuff, the vintage stuff that people like me cannot afford to buy. I cannot afford a base set Charizard, whether that's an unlimited one, whether that's a shadowless one, or God forbid, a first edition shadowless one. I simply can't afford it, and I probably will never be able to afford it unless you're like a millionaire, or you're having a midlife crisis, or you just really want your husband or wife to be pissed at you. You're not really going to be wanting to buy a base set Charizard. A lot of us just can't afford vintage stuff. I can afford commons, uncommons, and the odd holo here and there. But the really high-end stuff, I just can't see myself spending, hundreds upon thousands of dollars to complete base set or whatever right now. It's just not worth it. Now that's kind of like a good segue into my next point, is supply and demand. With vintage products, the supply is getting lower and lower each day. With every card that is damaged or lost or put away, the supply goes down. The supply in the marketplace is going down and down and down, and just won't be reprinted. Whereas modern products such as Champion's Path, Hidden Fates, we never know how many reprints there's going to be. There's never going to be another reprint of first edition base set, or base set in general, or Fossil, or Team Rocket. Any of those vintage era cards, WotC cards, are never going to be printed again, because WotC doesn't even do Pokemon anymore. But comparatively, Hidden Fates is getting yet another reprint. Even the ETBs are. The Champion's Path is getting yet another reprint. We never know how many of those are going to be reprinted. So the supply is continuous and continuous and continuous, but the demand is still quite high there. So you always need to look at how much supply there is and how much demand there is. And that kind of segues into a question I kind of get all the time, is what modern packs should I buy to resell? And modern packs just are really difficult to resell because most of it, just like I was saying, supply, they're still in supply, they're still being printed. There's no reason for anyone to be paying, upwards of like $5 for a pack. Now, obviously, it depends on the pack and it depends on the set, but as an example, I have, a Rebel Clash and Sword and Shield pack right here. Is it worth you going to buy a booster box, breaking the booster box open and selling those packs? Absolutely not, because you know what? I can go down to my Walmart down the road or any store around the area and it'll still have Rebel Clash and Sword and Shield, so don't ever think about opening that. Then we get into a little bit of older sets, such as, Burning Shadows. Is it worth it buying these to resell? Still no, because I can still go to Walmart, still go to Target, even though they're a bit more expensive now. Burning Shadows is getting a little bit more expensive. Still not worth it. But things like this, and I don't really have any vintage packs on me, but this is as vintage as I can get from my good friend Arbox Dan. This is a Pokemon Tops card, sealed Tops card pack. And stuff like this is not in print anymore and is relatively expensive and is going up in price because there's getting lower and lower supply. So if I open this, the price might go up a tiny bit, maybe 0.001 cents. But every time someone opens one of these packs, every time one of the boxes are broken open, every time one of these packs is lost or destroyed, the price will steadily increase. Just like we're seeing with base set first edition booster boxes are a great example. Every time someone opens one of those boxes, they're going to be more expensive than the last one, because I have no idea how many there are left in the world, but, if Logan Paul continues to open all these first edition booster boxes, the price is going to continue to skyrocket because there's just going to be none left, or there's going to be very, very few left. And the fewer there are left in the world, the more expensive they're going to be. It's just simple supply and demand right there. So the next thing you're going to want to think about, and this is really, really important, really crucial if you're wanting to sell things, is condition. The condition is everything to a collector. It's everything in the Pokemon community or the sports card community or the Magic the Gathering community. Condition is everything. And when you're buying something on eBay, on Facebook, on anything, ask for pictures. Do not be afraid to ask for pictures, because you do not want cards coming in that are scuffed up that you were going to grade and it looked great on eBay, trust me, it's very easy to make something look great on eBay or Facebook. A card can look immaculate but have all the damage in the world. It's very simple to do. Anything that is worth really sending away for grading, unless it's, you know, like a Charizard, Shadowless Charizard or something, has to be in mint condition so you can get the best grade possible and the most profit possible. I've just taken a few cards out of my grading pile, for example, and they range in sets and range in languages, and they range in condition too. So for example, this here is a Clefable. I think it's Expedition it's from. So this is considered vintage 2002, and this is pretty much near mint. It has one tiny part of whitening and one hollow scratch, so it's not going to have a perfect grade by any means, but you know, it's vintage, so it's going to be more expensive anyway. Comparatively, I have this beautiful Japanese Charizard and Reshiram card. This one is mint, mint, mint. The centering is pretty much perfect. I expect this to get a 10 out of 10, but if it wasn't going to get a 10 out of 10, it probably wouldn't be worth grading for me just because it's a newer card. You know, this is from 2019, only last year. So condition is really important depending on which card you're sending in. Again, this one would probably get, you know, a 7 or an 8. This is a first edition Pikachu, Red Cheeks Pikachu with the W stamp right there, if you can see it right here. These are really, really difficult to kind of like find right now. They go for $250 to $300 PSA 10. I bought this one for, I think it was like $4 on eBay. So even if it gets like a 7 or an 8, it's pretty much easy money. And then again, another Japanese Surfing Pikachu. It's like a full holographic card, really cool secret rare, in pretty much perfect condition. So condition is everything depending on the card and what you're selling it for, what the reasons are, how old is the card, that kind of stuff. Now, specifically in terms of selling on platforms online, especially eBay, you really need to take the price that your competitors are setting into consideration. You do not want to be setting, you know, a card that you think is worth $100, but other people are putting on eBay for $50 because your card is not going to ever be bought because, you know, the rest of the market believes it's $50. You're thinking it's $100. You need to price your items competitively, else they'll just never sell. I see way too many people on both on Facebook and eBay thinking their card is worth far more than it is. And you know, I'm sometimes part of that group too. You know, I get my prices wrong from time to time, and one rule of thumb I usually go by is that I'll decrease my price by 5% every 2 days, and that way, you know, at the very least is decreasing in price, and people can see it decreasing in price, and people get notified if you decrease. If they look at your item and you decrease it steadily, they'll get notifications from eBay saying, you know, the price has gone from $20 down to 19, down to 18, and so on and so forth. And that's the best way to do things. You know, if you leave something for a week and it still hasn't sold, it's better just to decrease that price by just 5%, whether that's pennies or $10, whatever the 5% is. It's better just to decrease your price steadily and slowly. Now, this video has gone on for quite some time, so I hope I've given you some pointers, some things to think about, some things to consider when you're looking for something to resell or to buy. But remember, most importantly, buy things that you enjoy to collect, that you enjoy having in your collection. Do not be that guy who goes to Walmart or Target or Asda or Tesco or wherever you shop for your cards and take all the product just to resell online. That is the worst kind of person. I think what we're doing here when we're buying off of eBay and then reselling it for a higher price or holding on to it and then reselling it is completely different. Because, you know, eBay is a very fair marketplace, whereas going to Walmart and stealing, well, not stealing, taking absolutely everything is just completely different in my eyes anyway. So let me know what you think. If you need any help, please list your questions down in the comments, and I will absolutely answer every single one of them to the best of my ability. I will do more kind of like tutorial videos when it comes to like PSA cards or eBay in general. If there's anything you want me to go over, let me know. This video was kind of like a general, hopefully helpful video in terms of selling. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know I didn't do my $50 to $500 video this weekend. The cards only just arrived on Friday, and you know, I've only just started listing them and trying to do deals and whatnot. So this time next week, the $50 to $500 video part 2 will be up, and hopefully we will have some profit to talk about. So until then, thank you very much and have a great rest of your weekend. Take care. Thank you.